Hi everyone, welcome to the Old School Kitchen's Cook at Home Alfresco Challenge. My name's Julia and today we're going to be making some Scotch eggs with a red onion relish. Our first job is going to be to hard boil our eggs. So just 4 eggs in a pan, which is about 3/4 full with cold water. We'll put that onto the stove at the highest temperature and then we'll boil it for 7 minutes. Our next job is to make our red onion relish. So we're going to start off with 2 red onions and we're going to top and tail these. And by that I mean cut off the roots and then the top part there. So hold it nice and steady on your board, fingers well out of the way, and just slice through. Place them flat down on the board and we're going to cut them in half now. So hold like a bridge and then fingers tucked out of the way again. Slice each onion in half. So we're going to peel the onion halves now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to very thinly slice them this way along the onion. So hold it nice and steady. And in fact, we're going to hold it like a claw shape. And we're going to be rocking our knife against our knuckles there to slice the onion into small, thin pieces. So nice and tight. The point of the knife is on the board. And then just rock backwards and forwards, moving back a tiny bit as you go. Right, so I can hear my eggs bubbling away over there, which is perfect. And I'm going to now put these into a saucepan. And into the saucepan, we're going to add a teaspoonful of butter, and a tablespoonful of oil. Olive oil is fine, or just normal vegetable oil will work as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take these over to the hob and we're going to gently cook these down so they soften up and become slightly translucent, so see-through basically. And we're going to keep stirring it the whole time with a wooden spoon or some form of slotted spoon just to make sure they don't catch on the bottom. So don't have your hob up too high, otherwise they will start to burn. And just make sure you keep stirring and stirring so they don't stick. So my onions are now nicely caramelised and my eggs are hard boiled. So I'm going to go and refresh these under some cold water. So really carefully carry them over to your sink. Drain out as much of the hot water as you can and then just pour some cold water over them for a few seconds and just fill up the pan with cold water and then we'll just leave them to set. The eggs are now cooling down in the sink and we're going to add a couple more ingredients to our relish now. So we're going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar. And 1 tablespoonful of vinegar. We're just using a white wine vinegar here. Any vinegar's fine. And we're also going to add 1 tablespoonful of soy sauce. So this gives it a sort of a sweet and sour, salty flavour, really. So we'll just give that a bit of a stir around now and we're going to put that back on the stove on a very gentle simmer so that the sauce thickens up and the onions caramelise slightly more. Keep an eye on it and keep stirring it as you go. You don't want it to burn on the bottom, and if it gets really dry then just add a little splash of water. Our next job is to skin our sausages. So I'm going to just snip open the packet. You'll need a pair of scissors for this and then also a fork to mix it round with afterwards. So just cut the sausages apart if they are attached, and then use the scissors just to cut through the skin of the sausage, peel it open, and then just put the sausage meat into a large bowl. Make sure you wash your hands thoroughly after handling any raw meat at all, and don't go around the kitchen touching other objects as well, otherwise you'll just transfer the bacteria from here onto every other surface that you touch. Use a fork to break up the sausage meat. We want to make it into a type of paste, really. And what you want to do then is just divide that sausage meat into 4 equal size portions, just in the bowl. So for our next job, what we're going to do is get everything ready to coat the sausages. So I've whisked my egg up, and in front of me now I've got 3 bowls in total. So I've got 50 grams of plain flour in one of them. I have my whisked up egg in one, and I also have 60 grams of breadcrumbs in the other. I've got my sausage meat ready to go, and I've also got just a spare plate because I'm going to use this to put the Scotch eggs on as I go through each of the steps to create them. So I'm going to now get my eggs out of the sink, and I'll drain all of the water off of those, and we're going to peel the shells off. Don't forget to keep checking on your onion relish as you go. I've just turned mine off now because it's beautifully caramelised, and if I leave it going any longer then there won't be any liquid left in there and it will just get too dry. So we shall leave that to cool down a little bit whilst we get on with the rest of our jobs. So I'm going to take my eggs. I just bash them on the work surface to crack the skin, or the shell, sorry, slightly, and just peel the shell off. Put the peeled egg onto a plate for now, and then just carry on doing the other 3. So I've peeled all of my eggs, and what I'm going to do next is just toss the eggs in the bowl of flour, just to lightly coat them. There we are. The next job is to take one of our portions of sausage meat, and we're going to roll this into a ball with our hands. It's a bit gooey and horrible to feel. And then we're going to just gently push it out so that we get a flat, sort of a circular shape. That's what we're after. This is going to be coating or covering our egg, so it needs to be big enough to cover the egg. So just keep going. You need it to be all the same thickness throughout. So that's probably the sort of size I need. Take one of your eggs, pop it in the centre, and then just form the meat around the egg. Just make sure you seal all the joins properly. And it's important to make sure that it's all the same thickness, because otherwise you're going to find it doesn't actually cook evenly once we put it into the oven later on. So repeat that with the other 3 eggs. When you've finished putting the sausage meat around your eggs, just go and make sure you wash your hands again very thoroughly, just to get all the gunk off. We are going to be handling them again, but it just keeps the area and everything that you're doing a little bit cleaner. Our very last job before we cook the Scotch eggs is to put the outer coating on. So we're going to just work our way along our bowl. So I've got my flour, my egg, and my breadcrumbs. And we literally just take one of the eggs. You need to handle them quite gently. Roll them in the flour first. Then transfer them to the egg mixture. And just coat them thoroughly. Make sure the whole of the outside is nice and wet. Lift it up and just drain it slightly so it's not completely dripping. And then put it into the breadcrumbs and coat them thoroughly with the breadcrumbs. You can just reshape them again once you've put the breadcrumbs on and get them back to the lovely circular shape. When you finish the eggs, transfer them to a baking tray and then they will go into a preheated oven at 180 degrees for around about 20 to 25 minutes.